Let's bring in Professor Andrew Crouch, who's the Vice-Chancellor and Principal of Plaatje University, joining us to expand on the discussion. A very good evening to you, Professor. Thank you for your time. As we take stock of the impact of Youth Day at a climate such as this, and also looking at the impact of the university, what stands out for you?
Well, good evening, Paul, and good evening to the listeners. What stands out for me is the enthusiasm, firstly, of our graduates and the positive way in which they look at their own future after having taken the opportunity to present it to them with both hands to increase their qualifications or get a qualification, and thereby being a role model not only to their siblings but also to their communities, but more importantly, for them to be able to make an impact on society, because most of them go back to their communities and make a contribution there.
The application process, I mean, listening in to 37,000 applications for the year 2023, I mean, that's quite a massive chunk. What does it open you up to in terms of some of the opportunities and the loopholes, perhaps looking at being able to accommodate more?
One of the things, there's clearly a need for education. And I mean the number of applications that we are receiving, and it's increasing on a year-to-year basis, basically by approximately between 10 and 15,000 every year. It shows me that there is an urgent need for us to open more tertiary institutions to absorb this hunger for education that we have amongst the youth.
And just looking at some of the graduates and the joy and the beacon of hopes that they will become to family members and their communities, what does that mean for your university as you take a look at more and more graduates walking out of the university and going out into the world of work, or perhaps even entrepreneurship?
Yes, I think it makes us very proud. It makes me very proud. One of the things that the university strives for is to produce graduates that can make an impact on society. In other words, for us, it's a social justice project. And the fact that our graduates can make a contribution after they have finished at Plaatje University, I think is also indicative of the fact that this university is making an impact, even after this 10 years of its existence. And going forward, we hope to make a further contribution because we are focusing on programs that speaks to the need of the Northern Cape. And I can mention a few: education, data sciences, heritage studies, management studies, and we have this year introduced agriculture. And the Northern Cape being the biggest province in the country, but the smallest population, agriculture, the civil service, the SKA, just to name a few, and the emerging energy programs are the things that, and mining, of course, is big in the Northern Cape, are the things that the young people are looking forward to be able to plug into those opportunities. For too long, we've had young people from the Northern Cape having to go to other provinces where there are universities at great cost, not only to their parents, but also to their communities.
Yeah. I understand that there's also construction still ongoing. Talk to us a little bit about what that looks like in the next few years, as you also speak about adding the new departments and courses that one can take on.
Yes, I mentioned agriculture. We're currently building the agriculture building, and we're hoping then to increase the intake in our agriculture program. We started this year with a diploma in agriculture, and we hope to expand into a degree in environmental sciences, which will focus also on agricultural management, which is what we also need in Northern Cape as well as in South Africa at large. So we're also constructing another 200 bed residence, because residences is also a big problem, because most of our students come from the rural environment. About 1/3 come from the Northern Cape, about 1/4 from the Northwest Province and adjoining provinces. So we need residences for them to stay. And then we're hoping to branch into geology, mining geology in particular, because that is also a need in the Northern Cape. And then in future, in the next strategic cycle, we will have health sciences with a focus on therapeutic sciences in particular. Again, that is seen as a need in the Northern Cape.
Yeah. Talk to us a little bit about the role of the SPU alumni.
Well, SPU alumni are, it's a young group of people. We're only 10 years old, so our alumni, the first graduating class really for degree purposes was about 7 years ago. So we've just finished our 7th graduation, where we graduated about 766. That added to the 2,000 plus graduates that we've produced as university. So we started an alumni association about 4 years ago. It is growing. We have an enthusiastic group of alumni, and we're hoping that the alumni, apart from contributing to where they are, that they also make a contribution to the university, basically applying back, being good ambassadors for the university per se. But we do not have that long lineage of alumni that some of our older universities in South Africa have. But we're trying to start early and build that alumni association so that there's a continuous link between the university and its convocation.
What would you say are some of the challenges that you're still facing as a university?
Well, like all universities in the country, we face challenges of funding. We in particular are attracting students from the most marginalized of society. In a clip earlier, a reference was made that 70% of our students are NSFAS students. In fact, it's a bit higher this year because COVID also had an impact on, obviously, unemployment, which means there's a bigger proportion of students whose families earn under 350,000, which is the NSFAS ceiling. So I would say up to 80% of our students at this point are NSFAS students. Then we have that group, which is typically the group that's referred to as the missing middle. So they above the 350,000 bracket. And then the self-paying students, which are mainly the postgraduate students. These students need funding, which is not always available. And that then leads to student debt that increases. We've seen a spike in our student debt, and that's a consequence of the situation we find ourselves in the country, poverty and inequality. So that's one of our challenges, but it's not only unique to Plaatje University.
Yes.
The second challenge which we have at the university is we cannot build student residences fast enough. Although there are private providers that's also providing student residences, it's not nearly enough. So as the university grows, that challenge becomes just bigger and bigger. Yeah. Those are two of our major challenges. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's perhaps leave it there for now. Thank you for talking to us. Professor Andrew Crouch, who's the Vice-Chancellor and Principal of Plaatje University, expanding there on the decade-old university and the impact that it's had on the community so far.